Welcome to Garage Makeovers, where I, Ilona Zink, ambush a mature lady and bring her back to my garage for a youthful, ravishing redo. Have you ever considered a makeover? In today's episode, we have Diane. Diane wants a change, and I am going to give it to her. Hi, Diane, and welcome.
Hi.
Garage Makeovers. How are you today?
A little nervous, really excited.
I want to know a little bit more about your personal life and what is going on there and who you are.
Well, I've been in the hospitality business most of my life. Raised 2 kids, have a boy and a girl, and a great husband.
How many years have you been married?
Going on 35.
And how does hubby feel about this? Did you talk to him?
Yes, I did. I mentioned to him, I says, remember this lady I was telling you about? She wants to cut my hair and do this makeover. What if you hate it? He's like, well, how long does your hair take to grow back? Basically, by spring, it would pretty much be where it's at now. So he sat there for a few minutes. He goes, yeah, I think you should do it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks. So this morning I says, you want to run your hands through this hair one more time? He goes, no, I'm good.
Tell us a little bit why you would be willing to go through this process with me.
I've always had long hair. This is the shortest it's been, and I think it's time to kick it up a notch.
What do you mean by kick it up a notch?
Well, just a little shorter, maybe change the color.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to hear that.
Are you?
Yes, I am. I was prepared today. I actually have 2 different looks, and I wanted to give you a choice. So the one look that we discussed is where we would take the hair about shoulder length and warm it up with a warmer blonde. Then the other look that I was thinking of, I don't know if you're familiar with a shag, but a shag is very contoured around your face and around your neck. It's also piecey. And if we were to do like a beautiful, sweet little short shag, oh my gosh, it would be adorable. But that I would prefer to do a darker color. What do you think about those 2?
The shag, would there be a fair bit of contrast?
Well, the contrast would be more in the texture of the cut. So there's a lot of movement in the cut.
Would it work as just kind of a wash and wear or a bit of a scrunch?
There's that easy comment that I hear so much.
That's why I've always had it kind of long and straight, because I just don't really know how to do a lot with my hair.
It probably would require, in all honesty, a really good shaking, ruffling of the hair, like waking it up,
right.
Because that cut would be based primarily on movement. Really, it would just be 2 seconds on a blow dryer to give it some volume. One of the challenges that we have when we're actually putting color on is if you haven't had your roots done, your roots will process at a different rate than your ends.
Right.
Yeah, because of the heat that's coming off your scalp.
Oh, okay.
So there's kind of method to my madness with what I'm doing right now, just to make sure that we have a nice even coverage, and because it's a little healthier on your hair to lower the peroxide level, I am actually going to do the roots first, then go back in and lower the peroxide level on this color. I can just add a little bit of water and that'll lower it, and then put that on the ends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's a way of getting the all over thing without harming your hair and keeping it nice and even.
That's why I've never colored my own hair.
It is tricky, right?
Because you just never know what it's going to turn out like.
Well, and a lot of times people, they do the store-bought color.
Right.
And, there's some things that maybe aren't mentioned. Legally, they're only allowed to have so strong a peroxide.
Right.
Because anyone who isn't a professional could cause some damage and do some harm. So this is why you see, and you may have seen it before, those people with kind of orange hair as opposed to blonde hair.
Right.
That's because their hair was too dark naturally, and the peroxide level wasn't strong enough to lift it. Okay, let's go ahead and tell. What are we going to do? Which one did you choose?
Well, I think the shag will be more of a contrast instead of just kind of chopping it at the shoulder. it may not be a lot different than what I already have.
Well, and that, you know what, is incredibly courageous on your part to admit that. Most people would go the safe route.
I just hope, I have some hair left. I just like the idea of, if you just want kind of a wash and wear, give it a shake, it's done.
That's your easy cut.
Yeah.
And the cut is created for more playfulness and movement.
Yeah.
So it facilitates shaking your head and going.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a cut that's primarily more structured,
Right.
then you got to do the time. For it to be a true shag, we did go through some pictures, right? And if you see the shag, the longer ones, it loses something. So I want to make sure that we go high enough to really appreciate it. It'll probably just touch your shoulder. You okay with that?
We'll soon find out.
I know that you like your bangs short. This I do know about your hair. So I'm going to make sure that it's not all in your face. You do have a little bit of a curl in your hair, a wave, and I like that wave. So usually I don't like to texturize a lot, little texturizing. If you do it more in a chunkier, piecey way, you can still honor the curl movement.
Right.
But if you do it in little tiny pieces, then it almost breaks up the curl. Diane's hair is cut and colored to perfection, and now it's time for the makeup. Bit of a transition, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that you can't help but look at mirrors every 2 seconds.
I know.
Okay.
That's what happens when you go from long to short.
That's right. Are you just trying to get to know yourself?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. So this part is going to be relatively easy. First thing I'm going to do is just kind of balance things out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do something amazing, and that today we're just going to airbrush your foundation. You're a good candidate for it because you don't need a lot of piecework. It's just kind of an overall thing.
Okay.
So I'm just going to get a few things that may not be covered.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever used a airbrush
No.
foundation?
No.
Well, there's different ways. I mean, you can buy a tool, kind of like when they paint fences, when they have that airbrush. Yeah, it's like that, but it's a little mini makeup one.
Oh.
Yeah, they use them in the professional industry all the time. That being like film, television, for example. And they're starting to use them more and more in other places too, like you can find them in spas and salons.
Mm-hmm.
So because we don't have one of those tools kicking around, I'm going to use the kind that you can buy at a store. And so foundations come in all sorts of different formulas. And I like the airbrush that you can use once in a while. It's quick, it's easy. The real important thing is don't breathe in when I'm spraying it. That makes sense, right?
Right.
So I'm just going to put some light in that area to make that area expand.
Okay.
The only thing you're going to watch with the airbrush is, like, number one, don't breathe in when you're spraying it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it'll get in your hair and stuff too. So you'll want to be careful where you aim it. But it is a wonderful, handy little tool. So
Does it last? Like,
It does. It does. I mean, I find foundations depends on the type of foundations. But yes, it does last. So you just give it a shake and then close your eyes.
just lasts for the day though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And hold your breath. And you can layer and breathe. Yeah. We'll just do a little spot there. Oh my gosh, did that ever make a huge difference? And just make sure you get your hair out of the way. So we're going to do a couple things that are going to make a huge difference, mostly your eyes. So we're going to make your eyes pop. They're just amazing. And I love how this color has really brought out your skin and your eyes. But we need to take it to the next level. because your eyelid is quite thin, we're going to make that look bigger, fuller. And how you do that is light, a lighter color, a highlight.
Okay.
So we're going to put a very light color onto the eyelid. We'll have you close your eyes. And that gives an illusion of expanding. How's it feel to have shorter hair?
Feels light. Feels good.
Good. And you were saying that they make you tie your hair back at work. They won't do that now, right?
No.
See now, if you open your eyes, that just makes that whole lid area look a little bit larger and balances with the area above.
Okay.
So from there, I'm just going to create some depth and make that brow area look a bit smaller. So we're going to add some depth in this area, and then we're going to give you some eyebrows. Have you ever considered having eyebrows?
It would be nice.
Is that an area that you struggle with a lot?
It is.
Ah. Well, these days they have these wonderful eyebrow powders. So it takes a lot of pressure off. Instead of having to draw little hairs to make it look real, you can just use a beautiful powder.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm going to get to it, and you're going to be completely transformed. So, Diane, are you excited to see?
So excited.
Okay, ready? On the count of 3, open your eyes. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my goodness. What have you done? Wow, that looks amazing. Loving it. Oh, wow. That's super cute. Thank you so much.
It is cute, right?
Yes.
Big sigh, right? It's
I
all
know.
over.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I might be keeping the short hair for a while.
It's the first time you've ever had your hair this short?
Yes.
It's the first time you've ever had your hair all one color?
Yes.
No surprises on the makeup, though. That was
Just happy with it.
right. And we talked a little bit about liquid liner earlier. We were talking about eyeliner. You used to wear the liquid liner, but you stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Why did you stop wearing the liquid liner?
I just found, as you get older, your eyelids tend to be a little more wrinkly, and you weren't getting that, straight line.
Straight line, right.
And yeah, I didn't really understand the concept of eyeliner either, as far as what the purpose was.
And yet, liquid liner is the one thing that I used on you today. So 2 things you learned with eyeliner today. What are both?
Well, that it's meant to actually make your eyelashes look thicker.
Right.
And that if you know how to apply makeup properly, you can pretty much use anything.
What was your favorite part about today?
Just looking way better now than I did this morning.
Any advice for anybody?
Don't ever be scared of to do a garage makeover. It was a great experience.
Wonderful.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I will. Bye.
Feet on the floor with your hands in the sky. You're feeling so high as the moments go by. Give 'em all back, give 'em all back, give 'em all back. Give 'em all back, give 'em all back, give 'em all back. Nobody knows what nobody sees.
For more information about Ilona Zink or Garage Makeovers, visit us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Garage Makeovers TV show.
Give